Good day, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Antonio Cheeks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming
Good
out to the
evening.
live broadcast tonight, where we are actually starting something brand new. Starting something brand new. So, welcome everybody to the show. This is Taking the Next Step. And if you were here earlier in the year, we started our live streaming project where we were focusing on the word focus. And we did that it was a marathon for 26 nights in a row. We actually did a focus marathon and it was outstanding. We had people coming in from all over the place. We had guest speakers. And so we have decided to come back with a new topic. And this topic again, before we get started, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am Antonio Cheeks, and I'm going to be your tour guide tonight. And for tonight, because we will have other guests, speakers coming on. My producer is actually not here right now, but she's probably watching, so she'll be on. And we're just going to have a ball. So what is our goal? Our goal really is to really work with leaders, helping new and emerging leaders find their rhythm, whether it be in ministry or the marketplace. So that's where we find our sweet spot. And that's what we want to dive into. So now that you're here, why re-engineering your life? And that's what we're going to talk about today is why re-engineer your life. Let me tell you, this couple of years, since COVID hit, we've all had some challenges. We've all had ups. We've had some downs. We actually had some successes during the COVID time. So don't get me wrong. We've actually had some people who've had success during this COVID time. But here's the thing. In the COVID time, me personally, I've had some challenges. So I don't know about you, but I've had some challenges. I've had some ups. I've had some downs. I mean, since COVID hit, I've had pneumonia once and even had to work from my bed. People were still calling me trying to get things done, and I had to keep pressing on. But I was dealing with pneumonia. Also, throughout this COVID time, I actually ended up having something go wrong with my mouth. As a matter of fact, you can't tell by looking, but my lower lip is still numb from the work that I had to have done on my mouth. So a lot of things have been happening, but here's the thing that really got me on this, why we need to re-engineer our life and take life by the hand and just hold on and ride this thing out. We're in the last quarter of the year, and I know like you and me, we have goals, we have ideas, we have things that we want to accomplish. And so since we're in the last quarter of the year, on July the 25th, I'll never forget this date, July the 25th, I was driving to work first thing in the morning and I began to pass out as I was driving. Yes. Now, fortunate for me that there was, and let me know in the comment if you can hear me okay. I just want to make sure everything is okay. So if you're on and you're in the comment, let me know that my mic is okay and stuff like that. I want to make sure I'm talking and you like, I can't hear him. So definitely join in. So yeah, I almost passed out. Came back home. I was able to turn around. The fortunate thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that when I was driving to work on a road that is normally busy, on that particular morning, there was no traffic for some reason. There was no traffic there. So I was able to turn around, get back to the house, and then I was able to make a phone call to my doctor, and they got me in right away to check me out. And let me tell you something. I know you're probably like, you almost fainted? Yes. So here's the thing. This is why this is so important to me right now. When I got to the doctor, of course, they did a battery of tests. They tested my EKG, and then they scheduled a brain scan. And I was excited about the brain scan because I've always wanted somebody to look inside my head to see what was in there. And, when they came back with all the results, they could not find anything. The EKG that I did, the test that I did, they said my EKG for this year was even better than the one last year that I had taken. So I was like, all right, cool. So I said, well, what about the brain scan, the CAT scan of my brain and stuff like that? They said they couldn't find anything. They had some sinus stuff that was going on, but anything that was issues or could have caused this issue, nothing was there. So after all these tests and diagnostics and running everything, My doctor looked at me and said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "Yeah, what's the question?" She said, "Have you ever heard of self-care?" And I said, "Self-care?" I said, "Yeah, I know a lot about self-care." She said, "That is probably something you need to practice." Ladies and gentlemen, life is too short for you and I to not take care of ourselves in these days. And so, as we're striving to achieve whatever we're trying to achieve, it is important that we re engineer the way we're thinking about our life and start putting the most important things to the front. And the important thing is, you and I need to start taking care of ourselves better. So then I came to the question, I said, well, wow, life is so hard. I mean, you're going to have pain throughout life. So if you're going to have pain, you're going to have difficulties throughout life, you might as well live a life that is fulfilling, a life that you actually enjoy, a life that you can actually embrace, a life that you know you've been called to live. And that's when I started thinking about this re-engineering your life, because there's this schism, this gap between what we want and what we're actually experiencing in life. There's this disconnect between where we want to be and what we're actually feeling and experiencing in life. And it's time to change that. It's time for us to step up our game and actually, I like that. I like that, Sharon. Yeah, living a life you enjoy. I like that. Living a life you enjoy. We want to do that. We want to live a life that you and I can enjoy, because we're going to be going through ups and downs anyway. So if we're going to do that, we might as well live the life that we're designed to live. Now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in order for us to do that, it's going to take some courage. It's going to take you being a little brave, some boldness. And there's this balance. There's this balance between humility. Well, let's go as a leader, as you are. Leaders have the balance between love. Do you love the people that you lead, that you lead? Do you love them? Do you actually care for them? Are you humble? And do you have courage? And then do you have strategies as well? So here's the thing. I think we get a little imbalance when we talk about being humble. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you and I, and a lot of us that's on this call tonight, we have an abundance of humility. We're not short on humility. I think what we're short on is courage. The courage to step into our design. And you want to know something? I tell you, when you start coming out and re-engineering the way you see your life, it is going to be difficult. There are people who want you to stay very, very humble. And have you noticed that they're not humble? The, that always cracked me up. The main people who are saying you need to be humble, humble yourself, they are not humble, because you stepping into and pursuing the things that you need to pursue is frightening to people. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, that's not our issue anymore. Today, we turn things around, we re-engineer our lives, and we start pursuing the things that we should be pursuing. So here's the thing. So I want you to start thinking there's this balance. So it's not overdoing the humility, it's having the right balance of humility, but it's also about actually pursuing. You remember David, I talked about this early in the intro video. We talked about David. And David, him and his men were out. They came back to where they were staying, and everybody was taken. And, look, David was about ready to get stoned. They was getting ready to turn to him because he was the leader. So David had to inquire of the Lord, what should I do? And he said this word, should I pursue, was the word, pursue. And I was like, man, that's interesting. Should you pursue? And the Lord said, man, and in my mind, the way God talks to me is almost like, dude, what are you asking me for? You already know your assignment. You already know what you should be doing. You should go ahead and pursue. So David was given the order, or the word, to pursue. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we need to do, is pursue. So here's how this re-engineering night, we're going to do it once a week. Most likely, I think Thursday night is going to be good. We're going to do it Thursday nights, I believe. Keep looking for your emails, or just go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Share this link with anybody that you think this might be beneficial to. But we're going to rock into it. The night is not going to be a long night. I just want to open it up for an introduction. But here's the thing. when we come, the process that we're going to use is going to be one called self leadership. Now, here's the thing: a lot of people use the word self leadership, and they kind of like tiptoe around it. You might hear, and we're going to talk about today, you might hear the word identity leadership, you might hear the word personal leadership, or you might hear the word self leadership, or not even self improvement, but yeah, even self improvement. And in certain circles, the word self being involved in it is like a bad word. And let's talk about definition. So one thing I do want you to know about self leadership: self leadership is not about being selfish. It's about you and I becoming self aware. That's what it's all about. It's about you and I becoming self aware. And what do we need to become self aware about? Who we are. That's what we need to be aware of. We need to know about our self confidence, our self efficacy. Can we actually fulfill the things that we're called to do? Yes. I like the word my African brother gave me, sagacity. Do you have sagacity? Look it up. It means to be sagacious. I know, right? It's one of my favorite words, but it's a word, and it really talks about you being keen, sharp, on the lookout for things, being aware, so that's what you want to do. You want to be sagacious in your leadership, in your personal leadership, how you develop. So over these weeks, we're going to be talking about things that comes with, we're going to talk about health. For sure, we're going to talk about our personal health. We're going to talk about EQ, not IQ. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence. How are we dealing with emotional intelligence? How do we deal with things? We're going to talk about leaders and leaders being able to develop and work through pain. I love leaders. Leaders are the one group of people who we as leaders, we have to keep moving through the pain. We show up even when we're in pain. That's why I love leaders. And so we're going to talk about that. And if you're thinking right now, well, I'm not a leader, okay, we're going to talk about that as well. Because you are a leader, we're going to pull that out of you. The thing is, what role do you play as a leader? So we're going to talk about that. So if you got any questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comments. But right now, today is just an opening. Let me make sure I got everything. I'm covering everything. Yes. So throughout the week, we're going to have guests come on. And what I'm going to try to do, what we will do, is have guests come on from different genres. So if you were able to talk or view the Focus Marathon, you notice we had different people come on talking about focus and in their area of expertise. So since I'm not an expert on everything, but I do want to serve you. So what I'm going to do is make sure I find people in their lane that can come on and talk about how do we re-engineer our life? How do we do that in certain areas of our lives? I mean, we're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about, and matter of fact, you can email or send us in the chat comments, things that you want to talk about. We want to go ahead and take those as well. But that's what we're going to be doing in this particular episode. And I haven't determined how many episodes we're going to do. So I would encourage you not to miss one. So I don't know how many we're going to do, but I feel inclined to keep moving forward and to keep going. So here's some setup. Let me give you some proper setups. Yes, there it is. There it is. So my brother here, he actually went on and found that word sagacity. It has become one of my favorite words, and I got it from a brother of mine from Sierra Leone. And man, I just love it. That's just my word. I love that word. So thanks for bringing it up, the definition. You want to put that in your definitions. You want to make sure you remember that, especially the part about being keen, perceptive, ability to make good judgment. And you're making the judgments not based on fear, not based on what's another thing, how we just, the circumstances that we're frightened by certain things, or guilt. We won't make decisions based on guilt. We'll make the sound decisions based on the rhythm of our lives and where God is trying to take us and our call for our lives. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a hard thing. I know it sounds simple, but when you're, okay, can I be transparent? I'm going to be transparent anyway. When you're somebody who has relinquished their courage or their sagacity over time, it's a hard climb to come out of that. And here's the thing, write this down. People will treat you Write this down. People will treat you the way they meet you. So if you are on a downward spiral when people meet you, guess what? When you start to come out of that spiral, they won't understand what's going on with you. They're going to look at you and say you're arrogant. But you're not arrogant. They're just afraid of the new you, the new confident you. And that's what I'm hoping for everybody, that we're able to pull up and move up to the new you. So here's some guidelines that you're going to need. So number one, there was an event that happened to me a couple of years ago. And yeah, let me go here. So this gentleman right here, if y'all know who that is, go ahead and put it in the chat. His name is right. He's covering up his name in the book. But I met this gentleman. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I met this gentleman at a, people will treat you the way they meet you. That's right. That's a good one. Do not forget that one. I remember I was on a downhill slide. That is Stedman. That's right. I was on a downhill slide and people met me on the down. I was going down. Now, here's the thing. When I started coming out of that, people didn't like it because they wanted to keep treating me the way they met me. So remember that too. There's a difference. That's right. I like this. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And that is the thing, that tightrope that we walk, right? So people think you're arrogant when your confidence comes up to their insecurities. Now all of a sudden you're arrogant. But no, you're just starting to be the true you that you've been called to be. So let's not get that twisted. When your confidence meets their insecurities, now they're threatened. And so for you and I, that's enough. We got a ooh in there. I like that one. I got stuff popping up. I don't want that to pop up. Let me close that. Anyway. So we don't want to do that. There's go. We got a ooh. That's a good one. So let me go back to telling you what you're going to need in the beginning here. There's going to be a lot of tools that we're going to be using. So you're seeing right here when I met him at a conference in, I want to say Tampa. Yes, I want to say Tampa, Florida. He shook my hand. When he shook my hand, he gave that extra grip, almost to say, you got this kind of thing, you know? And I never forgot that. It was several years ago, but he's like, shook my hand, said, hey, thank you for signing the book and everything like that. Your talk was really good. And then he shook my hand and I was trying to walk away. And then he kind of like, hold on. Like he had to, like he was almost transferring, like, you got this, go ahead and start saying what you have to say. And so that's what I'm going to do. So number one, you need to go ahead and, I think I have it right here. You need to go ahead and get this book. Some of the ideas, look, he even does it. He said he calls his book Identity Leadership, but then he goes down to say, to lead others, you must first lead yourself. He's talking about self-leadership. As a matter of fact, as soon as you turn the first couple of pages of the book, he goes into self-leadership. But I think what's happening is in certain circles, you don't want to say the word self, but that's very important that you are self-aware. Because, if you're not self-aware, you don't know when you need help. And so that's important for you to have self-leadership, because that self-leadership in you helps you discern when you need help. It doesn't mean that you isolate yourself. It means that you're aware that when you need help, you need something. Remember the prodigal son? For those of you who read the Bible every now and then, you remember the prodigal son. What did he do before he came home? When he lost all his money, then he's out there with the pigs. I think it said when he came to himself. Y'all check me on that. But I think it said when he came to himself. That's self-leadership. When he became self-aware, he was able to make the proper decisions. And that led him back home, where his father met him and greeted him with open arms. Y'all get that? Did y'all see that? When he became self-aware. So self-leadership is vitally important to your growth, for you and I. And I want you to share this with people. So that's number one. Because we're going to go through that. We're going to go through this book, some concept that's in this book. That's one let me slow down. I'm getting excited. That is one resource that we're going to use. So I've been through this. I think I've been through it like almost once a year since I got it. And I've just been working at it and working at it and working at it. And I said, you know what? Let's share some of this stuff. The other resource that I think will be helpful for you is, I think this one here. this book here called The One Thing by Gary Keller. And here's a quote from the book. What's the one thing that I could do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? See, good self-leadership will help you do away with all the unnecessary stuff. Being a better self-leader will help you be able to say no and know that no is a complete sentence. So those are 2 books. Now, I made it easy for you. I put, you like that? I like that too. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. So what I've done for you in the description of this video that you're looking at right now, in the bottom of it, there is links to the books. So you don't even have to go try to find it. Those are partner affiliate links that I have for you. So if you want to go ahead and get those, go ahead and get them now. So, and start reading through them, because throughout the weeks, we'll take some nuggets from some of the books, and I may add some other books as we go. But this is going, I don't know how long it's going to go, but this is going to be an ongoing, just a journey for you and I until we get it, until we get where we need to go. So that's all I got for you tonight. This is a nice, short, sweet one. but here's your assignment. Get the books, number 1. You need to get the books. So just go ahead and get the books. Number 2, share this information with people that you know who are like, hey, you know what? There's something, I know that there's something more. I just can't put my hand on it. Yes. Oh, wow. You know, I got to take I'm going to come back to this. So I'm going to get to and I'm going to come back to some of the stuff that's in the chat. People that, you know, and they've come to you and they say, hey, you know what? I just feel that there's something more. I just can't put my hands on it. Maybe it's they need to get better at self-leading themselves. And tell them to come here to this community and let's talk about it. And again, remember, I won't be the center of attention every week. You know, I'll have people here that can talk and give us some insight on that. But let's bring up, I'm going to go to the chat if you got any questions, comments, or concerns. But I did see that somebody actually found the scripture. Brother Dansby here. Yeah. So, but when he came to himself, right there, self-leadership. You know, he says, shoot, how many of my father's hired servants have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? If he never had self-leadership, he would have perished. But it's the self-leadership in him that actually got him back home. So the links are actually in the description of the video. So when you look at YouTube, looking at the YouTube video and scroll under the description part in the middle of the video, when you scroll down, so you're probably not seeing it right now, but when you scroll down in the description part of the video that talks about what this video is about, you'll see 2 links. Matter of fact, let me know if you see those, because if you don't see, okay, do you see them? Let me, Lisa, if you get a chance, let me know if you actually see them. Yep. Oh, okay. Chuck, let me take this off. Let me see if I do this. There you go. Cool. And then you got people will treat you the way they meet you. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I've actually experienced that myself, that people will treat you the way they meet you. I remember meeting a gentleman. Let me go down here. I remember meeting a gentleman. You got it? Okay, cool. Go ahead and click on the books and get the books. The gentleman saw me. They met me from, I was on a stage speaking. So that's the way they met me. And so you should have seen the way they treated me. Conversely, they met a friend of mine. They didn't meet them in that type of environment. And they treated them almost with, it was a different kind of thing. But what they didn't realize, the friend was a mentor of mine that helped me with me being able to present. And if they only knew who they were talking to, but it was based on, but it was based on where they met me. That's how it works. So definitely. So Saren, y'all didn't see the link. Definitely it's in the description. You can use any way you can get it, and let it get to your home. The book that I have, so I got the hard book on the identity leadership, but on the one that talks about the one thing, that one I have on my Kindle. I'm running out of space for you for you readers out there, people that like to read, I'm starting to run out of space here. So, all right, so that is it for me for tonight. We went about almost 30 minutes. That's good. That's good. About 30 minutes. Nice little quick nuggets for the night. Any other comments or questions? I'm just checking. I know there's, so I don't, if you don't know this, there's a delay. So when you guys do something, I have to pause for a moment for it to actually come through. So I'm just waiting to see if I see anything. Okay, good. Sharon said, I see it now. Good, good, good. Good information. Great. I like that. Make sure you come back. I can't wait to see you in class. Lisa, I hope you're doing your homework, getting ready to, do what you got to do. I love it. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming out. I will rest up because this is going to be a lot of information coming at you. We're going to start setting the lineup of speakers and content for you. And again, just come on back. Thanks for the thumbs up. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to make sure you don't miss anything, that's one way of doing it. Just go ahead and hit the link. Oh, you have all your Post-it notes. All right, good deal. So that's great. So yeah, just go ahead and you got in. All right, cool, good. Yeah, this is a good start. And can you be prepared? You never know, you might be on the platform. Thank you, Sharon. I like that. Yeah, this is shared information. I'm just trying to get the information out there because we're walking through this together. I am not out there. I'm right here with you guys, and we're on this journey together. Again, my name is Antonio Cheeks. Thanks for coming out to Taking the Next Step. And in this journey, we're talking about re-engineering your life today. All right, that's it for tonight. Y'all take it easy. Have a blessed rest of your night, and I will see you. I think we're looking at next Thursday. If anything changed, I'll let you know, but I want to be consistent with it. So we will see you next time on Taking the Next Step, and we're talking about re-engineering your life. Good night, everybody. Take care.